Dave is 34. He makes $68,000 a year. Tonight, 11:47 p.m., he is at his kitchen table, staring at his phone. One payment field, one number, $340. He has made 36 payments before this one. Car loan, 2 credit cards, a personal loan from 2021, not one missed payment in 3 years. But this one is different. This one is the last one. His finger hovers over pay now. He just sits there. Most people think paying off debt is a math problem. Add it up, pay it down, done. But what actually happens to your brain the moment that number hits 0, that is a completely different conversation. And I am going to have it with you today. My name is Charlie, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why some people build wealth while others stay stuck doing everything right. If that sounds like your kind of thing, subscribe. It is completely free and worth it. I will show you exactly what changes when that balance hits 0, and it is not what you think. Here is what nobody prepares you for. Paying off debt is not just a financial event. It is a psychological shift, a complete rewiring of how your brain processes money. Think about what debt actually does to you every single day. There is a number on your phone, on a statement in the back of your mind that represents money you owe someone else. That number follows you to the grocery store, to your kid's birthday party, to bed at night. You do not always think about it consciously, but your brain knows it is there. And here is what happens after months and years of carrying that weight. Your brain starts treating debt as a permanent state, not a phase, not a problem to solve, a permanent condition of your financial life. So when that number finally hits 0, when you actually pay it all off, something happens that goes way deeper than your bank account. Your brain does not just feel relieved, it relearns what normal feels like, what safety feels like. And once that happens, everything else changes with it. Now, most people, when they picture life after debt, picture one thing: more money each month. And they are not wrong. That part is real. If you were paying $600 a month toward debt and now you are not, yes, that is $600 that does not disappear anymore. That is real. But here is where most people get it completely wrong. They think the change is in the bank account. It is not. The change is in the brain. Let me explain what I mean. When you are in debt, every financial decision you make is filtered through a layer of pressure. Should I spend this? Can I afford this? What happens if something goes wrong? That filter is running in the background constantly, every single day. It narrows your thinking. Research on scarcity out of Harvard and Princeton shows that financial pressure literally reduces cognitive bandwidth. You have less mental space for everything else because part of your brain is permanently managing the debt. Now here's the misconception. People think that once the debt is gone, they will just feel better, like a sigh of relief. But here's what nobody tells you: what this actually does to your brain. And it is not what you would expect. The change is not just emotional, it is fundamentally structural. Here is what the research actually says. The American Psychological Association has tracked financial stress in America for over a decade. And debt, not bills, not income, not job security, and debt specifically, consistently ranks as one of the top chronic stressors for American adults. Not occasional, chronic, ongoing, constant, and here's why that matters. Chronic stress has a specific effect on the brain. It keeps your nervous system in what researchers call a threat response. Cortisol stays elevated. Your brain is always scanning for danger, always protecting against the next bad thing. That is the state you are living in when you are carrying debt. And the dangerous part is, you stop noticing it. After months or years of carrying debt, your brain begins to normalize the threat. It becomes your baseline. You think you are calm, you think you are fine, but underneath, the system is still running, still on alert. Now, here is what happens when the debt disappears. The threat signal stops. And for most people, this is the part they do not see coming. Because the first thing they feel is not happiness, not relief. It is something closer to disorientation, because your brain does not know how to function without that background noise yet. Give it a few weeks, then the real changes start showing up. Decision-making gets sharper, not because you are smarter, because cognitive bandwidth has been freed up. You think more clearly about money. You take risks you would have avoided before. Not reckless risks, but reasonable ones. A new opportunity at work, a conversation about investing, a decision you kept putting off for years. Generosity increases. Studies show that financial scarcity suppresses generosity. When the scarcity ends, generosity returns naturally, and your relationship with the future changes completely. When you owe money, the future feels like a threat. When you owe nothing, the future starts to feel like a possibility. That is not a small shift. That is everything. Now let me show you what this actually looks like in real money. The Federal Reserve reports that the average American carries about $6,000 in credit card debt. At today's average interest rate, around 20% APR, that is $1,200 a year disappearing in interest payments. Just gone. Not going toward a bill you can point to, not buying anything, just handed to a lender for the privilege of owing them money. That is $100 a month. Every month. Money you will never see again. Now here's where it gets interesting. What if, the day your debt is paid off, you took that same $100 and started sending it somewhere else? A Roth IRA indexed to the S&P 500. Vanguard's data shows the historical average annual return at approximately 7% after inflation. $100 a month, 7% average annual return, 30 years. You end up with approximately $121,000. That is the power of compound interest working in your direction. The same $100 that was draining away, building wealth instead. Read that again. $100 a month, the exact money you were handing to a credit card company, becomes $121,000 over 30 years. Now, Dave was not paying $100 a month in interest. Dave was carrying $23,000 in debt across multiple accounts. His total minimum payments were around $580 a month. The day those payments end, $580 is now his. $580 a month into a Roth IRA, 7% average return, 30 years. That is approximately $703,000. $703,000, built by redirecting the exact same money he was already sending out the door every single month. He did not get a raise. His income did not change at all. He just stopped paying lenders and started paying himself. That is the math. And the math does not care how long it took you to get to zero. It only cares what you do the day you get there. Here is what this actually looks like in your daily life. Scenario 1, your car breaks down. Before debt freedom. That is a crisis. You run through the math instantly. Which card has room? Can I float this until payday? You're in panic mode before you even call the mechanic. After debt freedom, it is still not fun, but it is just a problem. You solve it, you move on, no spiral. Scenario 2, you're at the grocery store. Before, you are tracking in your head. Is this okay? Should I put anything back? You edit the cart before you get to the checkout. After, you just shop. You buy what you need, you leave. That quiet math in the background is gone. Scenario 3, something comes up at work, a project, a risk, an opportunity that requires you to commit. Before, you calculate what happens if it does not pan out. Can I afford to fail right now? Debt makes failure more expensive. After, you weigh it on its actual merits, not through the lens of financial survival. Scenario 4, the first of the month arrives. Before, you know the dates, you know the due dates, you know the minimums. The calendar is built around payments. After, the first of the month is just the first of the month. There is no due date on the calendar that owns a piece of your paycheck before you even see it. These are not dramatic changes. You will not feel them all at once, but they accumulate quietly, consistently. And about 3 months into debt freedom, most people describe the same thing. They feel lighter, not because they are richer, because they are no longer carrying something they got so used to carrying they forgot it was even there. And that feeling, it does not just go away, it compounds. Now, I need to warn you about something, because this is where most people undo everything they just built. The debt is gone, the payments stop, and within 60 days, sometimes faster, something moves in to fill the gap. A new car payment, a nicer apartment, a stack of subscriptions they never canceled, a phone upgrade they had been putting off. Slowly, then all at once, their expenses climb right back up to where their payments used to be. This is called lifestyle inflation. And it is silent, and it is fast. You do not decide to do it, it just happens. Because your brain, which spent years managing around that payment, now has space, and spending fills space. The payment is gone, but the behavior is not. The average person who pays off a car loan replaces it with a new car within 18 months. The payment does not disappear, it transforms. And if you are not watching for it, you will not notice until your net worth is back where it started. The trap is almost always invisible. Until it is not. Here is the mindset shift that changes everything. Paying off debt is not the finish line, it is the starting line. Most people treat debt freedom as the destination, the thing they were working toward, the moment they were waiting for. And when they get there, they stop, they exhale, they reward themselves, and then they coast. That is the wrong read. The discipline that got you out of debt, the sacrifice, the patience, the consistency. That is not something you built for this one goal. That is a skill, a permanent skill, and you can now aim it at something completely different, something bigger. Think about what it actually took to pay off $23,000 in debt on a $68,000 salary. That is not easy. That took real sacrifice over real time, and you did it. The question is not whether you have the discipline. You already proved that. You proved it month after month. The question is what you do with it now that the target has changed. Dave was sending $580 a month to lenders every single month, without fail, for 3 years. That is not luck. That is discipline. He just had it aimed at the wrong thing. Flip the direction, keep everything else. That same $580 on the exact same day it used to leave his account now goes into a Roth IRA. The behavior does not change. The amount does not change. Only the destination changes. That is the entire reframe. Not, I am finally free. That is still backward looking. The right frame is this. I now have a weapon, and I already know how to use it, because I have been using it for 3 years. The discipline that eliminated $23,000 in debt is the exact same discipline that builds $230,000 in wealth. The muscle is already built. Point it forward. Dave is still at the kitchen table. 11:52 p.m. now. He looks at the screen one more time. $340, one button. He taps Pay Now. Balance, $0. He sits there for a moment, quiet, not celebrating, just sitting with the weight of what just happened. And then something shifts. Not the phone, not the account balance, something in him. For the first time in his adult life, every dollar he earns belongs entirely to him. Nobody is waiting for a piece of it. No due date owns any part of next month. His money is his. Here is your first concrete step. Right now, write down your current minimum payment, the exact number, and make this decision today. The moment that payment ends, that exact amount becomes a deposit. Same day of the month, same amount, different destination. You do not need more income. You do not need a new strategy. You just need to point the same discipline somewhere new. The muscle is already built. You have been building it the entire time. One more dollar, always.